whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, even maybe some other choices, when somebody owns that, they become their own personal banker.
Reason to own Bitcoin is speculation, chasing higher prices. It's higher today, trading above $58,000.
It's exactly what you said, is when does the demand for the cryptocurrency stop growing?
That's really changed the game for me, and that's what got me excited.
I remember a few years back, it was blockchain, not Bitcoin.
The challenge was with blockchain, you had to make a complete commitment and write around it, and then in terms of a Bitcoin environment. And then when Ethereum came out with smart contracts, it all got simplified dramatically. And now there's another set of issues with Ethereum in terms of transactions per second. And so it's actually, they followed the same curve. And I always said Bitcoin was worth what somebody will pay for it. And so, as long as there's people coming in, it's okay. As long as the demand exceeds the supply, it's okay. And I've always compared it to gold and always said that it was better than gold. When people say gold has intrinsic value, that's ridiculous. The idea that, assigning, we like gold colored jewelry or gold original jewelry, and that's intrinsic value is ridiculous. And so I think for a lot of reasons, then we fast forward to this summer really, and you start to see the value of smart contracts and DeFi in particular and governance, and now you realize whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, even maybe some other choices, when somebody owns that, they become their own personal banker. And when somebody has that, and you can start creating other applications with smart contracts, and you get a lot of leverage, and that's really changed the game for me, and that's what got me excited.
And the original white paper did say an electronic peer-to-peer cash system. And so in some ways, the skeptics who say, well, it's not used as cash, they're not wrong that originally it was called cash, but of course, technologies evolve, use cases evolve, and you're right. Right now, all the big believers, they say it's a store of value, it's digital gold. I guess I'd ask you though, is that as exciting and interesting if it's not something in addition, if it's just an asset that you're buying to hold, and we can talk separately about, the Ethereum applications, but just for Bitcoin, if it's just digital gold, well, does that really match up with the original promise?
Well, I didn't read the white paper. I couldn't tell you all the details of the original promise, and I don't really care. What I know is what I know right now. And in, the existing environment, you could use it as collateral. And when you can use it as collateral and you can swap it, and depending on where you swap it, you can do it efficiently and effectively, then your options expand. And so because it's got a liquid marketplace, you can assign a value to it, not just as a store of value, but to act as collateral for other transactions. And what's happening is with DeFi, doing financial transactions, the friction is far less than it is in traditional centralized analog finance.
I remember a few years back, it was blockchain, not Bitcoin. Banks coming out saying, well, we love blockchain. Don't ask us about Bitcoin. We don't love crypto, but we want to use blockchain. What did you make of all that? And now what has changed in terms of the reaction?
Yeah, in my first company, I wrote a lot of applications for decentralized or distributed databases. And we would deal with replication, we would do all kinds of stuff, right? And so I always saw the value in blockchain, and that was always the same argument I had. The challenge was with blockchain, you had to make a complete commitment and write around it, and then in terms of a Bitcoin environment. And then when Ethereum came out with smart contracts, it all got simplified dramatically, so that blockchain took on a completely different perspective and set of applications. And now there's another set of issues with Ethereum in terms of transactions per second. And so it's actually, they followed the same curve. And the difference is Bitcoin is kind of stuck with a store of value, even though there is a blockchain there. That's more just for confirming transactions that take place, with Bitcoin, buying and selling. Where now with Ethereum, with smart contracts, I'm teaching myself Solidity right now. It's not hard. If you've done any programming languages, it's pretty straightforward and easy. And so now you can start to see, and I started to see the simplicity of creating smart contracts that are then stored in full on the blockchain, which are then immutable, right? And now you can start seeing, okay, what other things can happen with this? And now that we're starting to see level 2, 3, or 4 enhancements, there's a lot of narratives out there that are bullshit, right? But at the same time, fundamentally, there's a lot of strong components to it.
at what point might they start to understand? Or, of course, for a while, people would say, well, you don't understand how email works, you don't understand how the internet works, you don't know SMTTP, HTTPS, everyone just knows it works. And so people might get to a point where blockchain is involved in their lives, they're using it, but they don't need to understand it. That's all interesting, and yet there's also still quite a lot of friction. You know, you talk about something like CryptoKitties, and you say, well, you just have to buy some ETH, then put it in, transfer it to your MetaMask wallet.
Okay, so look at CryptoKitties, right? Now they're on Flow, right? And now they're doing Top Shots. And what did Top Shots do that was great? You don't need a wallet. There is no cryptocurrency involved, right? You just put your credit card in there and buy your moments like you buy anything else. Right? They created a marketplace which is no different than eBay or Amazon, but let's just say it emulates eBay, which is just an open marketplace for anything, only because it's digital, it's in near real time, and you just pay a transaction fee, and you don't have all the hassles of receiving or sending like you do if you buy or sell a mouse, And so it's a simplification and a reduction of the friction and things we otherwise already do, and that's going to bring people to the platform. And I think that's your point, right? That when you simplify it, you're going to bring a lot of neophytes to the platform that are going to get excited about it, and that's what we're seeing with Top Shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why Coinbase has done so well, for example, because even regular people, Joe Main Street, who they hear about Bitcoin and maybe they've decided, I'm willing to buy a little bit of crypto, but it can't be 3-4 steps, Right. And that's the big promise, is reducing that friction. You better make it really easy for them to get into this space.
Well, exactly right. Especially with the know your customer laws and everything, you've got to be able to deal with smaller investors or speculators or traders, whatever, and just pop in a credit card. And Coinbase has done a great job. And on top of that, Coinbase will give you free crypto if you do the rewards programs with, I'm one of those people who have done it. Give me some of this or give me some of that. I'll take my 3 minutes and answer the questions and watch the videos. Sure. I mean, they've been really, really smart in simplification and marketing.
Some of those non-pure play crypto companies, consumer-facing names, Robinhood, PayPal, Square, they've added Bitcoin buying because, they want to grab from that funnel. And I guess I'd zoom out and say, we've been talking about the applications of this tech, but if we look at the price surge and the recent Bitcoin bull run, it seems to me it's very much part of the sort of retail investor revolution. It's not unrelated to the pandemic. This stuff all accelerated, in 2020. And the GameStop stuff was related. I mean, yes, it was GameStop, but it's Reddit fueled, it's social media fueled. And I'd ask your take on that. I mean, how was crypto involved with that? How was all that stuff good for crypto adoption as well?
It's the whole concept of decentralization and fighting the man, right? It's all about governance, and that validation is them buying the stock and just repeating it as much as possible, and getting diamond hands and hodling, which however you want to call it, and that's decentralization, and that's the whole underpinning of blockchain and crypto.